Recording. I am recording.
Hello, fellow geeksters, and welcome to Pardon, my geek podcast.
Come on. And welcome back to Pardon, my geek, where nerd culture is taken seriously and not seriously at all. I am your host, Josiah, and joined, as always, by my fellow co-host, Quinn, from the other side of the mountains. Say hi, Quinn.
Yo, what's up?
What is up is right. Man, do we have a fun episode for you today. We will get into it, as you will see. But, as always, we're going to be starting off with small talk to get to know each one another, maybe connect with us and, grow on a personal level. But mainly for me and Quinn, so we can catch up on each other's lives.
We don't see each other except for on podcast days.
Yeah, podcast days are the one days we get to talk, which is kind of nice, actually. I've been always looking forward to it, and we get to just chat and just catch up with what's going on in each other's lives instead of just sending reels.
We do send
wrong.
each other some pretty funny reels.
We do. And every time I get one from Quinn, I'm always like, yeah, this is going to be a good, funny one. Gotta make sure I have the time to watch it.
I send good memes.
I'll put them aside. He sends good memes. I send funny memes. But now we've gotten into the stage where we'll be sending each other, like nerd news and stuff. And, updating each other. It's been kind of fun.
Yeah. Which, I'll actually talk about what happened last week when we get to nerdy news. Because some things happened last week that we were messaging about that was a little frustrating. But, yep.
Okay. But we're going to get into the small talk portion real quick. Quinn, update us on exciting college life.
Midterms! I had 2 midterms last week. One of them, actually, have I got my test scores back? Live review of my test scores.
Live reaction of Quinn's test scores, whether he did good, whether he failed.
Am I
or whether
gonna have to rethink my career choice? But yeah, so I had that midterm, and then I had another midterm for anatomy, which I did get my test grades back. I got like a 77, which isn't great, but yeah, I'm still passing.
That's good.
Yeah.
Hey, that's still passing. Yeah. And it's not like super low, like where you're at the bottom of the class.
No. And then I have one more midterm this week, tomorrow, for anatomy lab. That one's not gonna be fun. It's about, I think, 100 questions, and
oh my gosh,
it's all like memorization based. So we'll see how it turns out.
We'll see. Well, we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
That can be really intimidating. I remember my anatomy final and midterm, and I was like stressed the entire week before I even took it. And I had like other midterms, but I was like, none of those matter.
Nope.
This one does.
Yeah. Hopefully, next year will be a little easier. So I'm taking more beginner level courses. Continuing chemistry, so I'll finish up the general chemistry, but I'm taking more beginner level, like biology courses and stuff, so hopefully next year will be easier, but we will see.
Yeah. Well, hopefully. Well, now that you know a lot of the stuff, a lot more from this year, it should carry on.
Yeah, I have a pretty solid baseline for a lot of, like, basic biology.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, have fun.
Anything
exciting besides midterms that happen?
After midterms, I'm going to spend time eating food and playing video games. That is going to be my excitement.
That sounds
pretty
exciting.
A de-stressing day.
Exciting.
Understandable. Yeah. Now, how about yourself? How's your week? Any news from the schools or what have yous?
Yes. So, my life is kind of like still in the middle. I thought it was going somewhere, but it kind of took a step back for right now.
Nothing wrong with that?
And no. And so I mentioned something earlier about maybe a potential job that I got offered, but they haven't gotten back to me or reached out or anything after I sent in my portfolio or anything. So I'm counting that as a loss and that they don't want me. So I think I was kind of hoping for something to happen this week. Given them like 2 weeks and stuff, because I don't know, they could be busy or something, but I think 2 weeks is enough.
I mean,
to really just say
you could always email them and ask them, like, have you made a decision, or did you get my resume or something?
My portfolio.
Yeah, and just be
I may.
Just so you can get like that verbal confirmation, like, yes, we got it, we just weren't considering you, but sometimes they're just like, oh crap, no, we just missed it. In the flood of our inbox, we missed it. So I would email them before you give up entirely.
Yeah, I think tomorrow.
Yeah,
I'll email them just to see if they like got my portfolio or if they were able to check it.
Yeah, especially if this is a job that you really want.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's kind of fallen through. So I think I'm gonna email them and then we'll see what happens after that. But if not, then it looks like maybe I'm gonna be trying to go to school and trying to pursue that path. It's not the path that gives me money, it's the path that takes my money, but it still is a path.
It will pay off in the end, hopefully, yes. Theoretically.
Yes, and the path is good. It will serve me. They're taking probably the most amount of credits I've seen that a school take outside of Oregon, really.
It's Grand Canyon, right?
No, it's Arizona State.
Arizona State, that's right. Grand Canyon, you were talking about.
Same state.
Yeah. But
same state.
I know you're talking about Arizona or Grand Canyon at.
Yeah, I was talking about both.
Yeah.
Yeah, Grand Canyon was a lead contender because they were very nice and they had some scholarships that are telling me in the earlier phase, but the scholarships only covered like a small portion, and I still owe like $50,000 at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Compared to like Arizona State, which will cost me $4,000 a term.
So substantially better.
So potentially better, and I need that title, that ticket, that little piece of paper that says bachelor's in film.
Yep.
Just to be considered for jobs instead of being passed over, just because I don't have that. So hopefully, that's my potential next path, and so I'm going to be taking that here pretty soon. If the other guys don't reach out, I have another path.
There you go.
And it's cheap. It's cheap college, so I'll be able to get through it without taking out any student loans.
Or if
it may take a little longer, but
yeah. Or if you do, it's going to be substantially less debt than if you did
Grand Canyon.
Yeah. Or anywhere else, really.
Or anywhere else. Yeah, if I do, it's going to be like for $5,000 or $4,000, something like really small, just to get me through like a year or something. So looking forward to it, getting through college, getting my degree and something I want without taking out any student loans was a goal of mine when I graduated, just because it was a challenge and because I knew it was possible if I was patient and I really searched and did my research and tried my best. It really was more of a challenge for me, just to like see if I could do it, not take the easy route. I don't know. I like to challenge myself like that and make myself do something hard that I don't want to do.
Loans aren't really easy. I don't want to pay off my loans by the time I get into the actual working force. I got a lot of loans I need to pay off by the time I get into the working force.
Yeah, I'm just saying that I feel like our society has been saying that loans, and don't get me wrong with anything about loans. You can take loans. It's your life. Like you do it the way you see it. The way I saw it is I wanted to try to do it without doing that. Yeah. Without conforming to what society has told me that is the path to do college. And I was like, I'm going to try something else.
Yeah. Yeah. I have thoughts, but this is also not a podcast for that. So I will hold off those thoughts unless you want me to.
We could get into it larger some other time.
Exactly.
For sure. But I think that is it for small talk. If you got anything left to say.
I'm all good.
You are all good. Well then, I think it's time for some nerdy news. What do you think, Quinn?
I think we should get right into it.
Nerdy news, just a Nerdy, smart, and smooth. Nerdy news.
There it is.
There's our theme song.
Until we actually get a real artist.
Yeah, until we do something else, and we know someone who can actually do something like that. Because I certainly don't.
Nope. I honestly, I thought about just getting into music programs to see if I could do something. I could whip up something better with my very minimal knowledge on music theory.
Just whip up GarageBand. Start looping things.
Right? Let's see what this sounds like. Yeah.
Go full middle school mode on. When we got our first iPads, and the thing was GarageBand because that was the only thing that was left on the iPad.
Yep. GarageBand for both music and for making. Yeah, I need to.
Yep.
Yeah, I need to open some sort of software and start futzing around with it.
Man, what a callback! Nostalgia. I was getting a little nostalgia thinking about that.
Thinking
All
about
right, let's
elementary school, middle school.
a little bit thinking about the old iPads and stuff, and what we used to do to entertain ourselves with the school iPads and its restrictions and all of that. Callbacks.
I remember a couple kids found in elementary school some pirated websites and started watching Deadpool in the middle of class, the first one. And the only reason I know this is because I walked over to them, looked up what they were watching, and I think it was, I might have not been Deadpool, but I'm pretty sure it's Deadpool. Is the Ryan Reynolds just like naked? I was like, what are you guys watching?
Well, I will admit I was never watching Deadpool, but I will admit I definitely was one of those kids who found those pirated websites and watched movies on the school iPad because it was the school iPad. Who cares if it got a virus? It wasn't mine.
Quinn is disappointed with you, Josiah.
It wasn't my iPad.
And you should be as well. With yourself, you idiot.
All right, let's get into the nerdy news and quit being nostalgic and talk about more recent stuff that has happened in the past week. Let's start with one of the biggest movies that just opened last week. Michael, you can check on Instagram and you will see my first reactions, live reactions, or whatever we want to call that series on that. Should be up there by the time this episode goes. But some fun facts and records that Michael has broken. Michael debuts with a 94% on audience scores, marking it as the highest rated audience score of a biopic ever, beating Bohemian Rhapsody, beating Rocket Man, beating Elvis. With Elvis had like a 90%, I believe, and Michael comes up top with a 94. So, audience are loving this movie.
Yes. I will say though, audience loves it. Critics, not so much. I don't know if you want me to get into the critic reviews, the tomato meter specifically.
You can.
Yeah, it has. I think it's a 37%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
sure.
37%. Due to it being a very surface level depiction of Michael's life.
Mm-hmm.
Which you can correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of them are just saying that feels just like a montage of Michael's best, like his best moments, instead of it actually being like an in-depth look into the stars' life. There's nothing on. It's an utterly sanitized view of Jackson, appealing to fans who do not want to wrestle with the allegation their heroes faced. Second review, it opts for mechanical storytelling and a sanitized portrayal so vacant of nuance or substance that leaves one unsettled. The film clearly loves Michael Jackson and his music, but painfully uninterested in understanding him. Didn't know if you want me to start reading out reviews, since, again, this movie is loved by fans, but I think it's important to look at the other side of the picture and see that, this movie is polarizing to say the least.
No, it is, and I have a reason for that too. When this movie has gone through production, what we call production hell, because this movie was ready to come out early 2020, and had to be pushed back because of the Jackson estate catching wind of the story, and then pushing in Jafar Jackson as the main character. Reshoots. They had to reshoot almost the entire third act because the Jackson family didn't want to include all that stuff that we literally just talked about that came up in the reviews about things not diving into the whole Jackson thing, because they didn't want that part of the story in the movie. So really, while that was part of the movie, the producers and the directors really had to conform to what the Jackson estate had already wanted to say in this movie, and wanted what was taken. It costed like almost 30 to $50 million in reshoots to change the entire third act of the movie. So while that was part of the original story, what Quinn just said, I was going to dive deeper into the Michael Jackson drama and all the things that came up with him in the 80s and the 70s, because there was a lot of stuff that wasn't said in the movie, and it was a montage of his highlights, really, and him working towards the music and learning how to do some of his biggest songs. So I really think that this movie could have been the best biopic ever if the Jackson estate didn't step in to stop the third act from coming out. But the producers and the directors really had no choice, because they already spent $150 million on this movie, and so they're like, we have to like conform to what the Jacksons want, because we're gonna lose a lot of money. A lot of people are not gonna get paid if we don't put this movie out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they can't just cut the movie.
They just went, all right, here we go, and I bet they're rolling around in their bed, just like imagining what they could have done with this movie if they didn't stepped in, and they're looking at those Rotten Tomatoes and the critic scores and seeing how low it is, and reading the reviews and saying, like, screaming at the screen, we had it, we had what you wanted, we know exactly what you wanted to watch, we had it, it was ready to go, and we just couldn't. And so yeah, I'm glad you brought it up. That's kind of why I said, yeah, bring it up, because I wanted to explain what had happened with that.
And I understand the Jackson estate wanted to keep, their precious little baby, like, their precious king, the precious boy, away from the drama. But also, it's like, most people know the drama, and it's going to feel wrong not to add it. So this just looks more bad on the Jackson estate than good. Because I can see them wanting to be like, oh, we don't want any of the drama. We don't want anything bad. We just want to celebrate Michael. Well, okay, this just makes you look worse. This makes it look like you get your hands over your ears, head in the sand, la 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 la, And so I think the smarter decision would have been to leave it in and show, yeah, Michael wasn't a perfect human. He had issues. So, yeah, I disagree with the issue. I think most people disagree with what they did. The only people who didn't disagree is the Jackson estate.
So, Michael, it's a big controversy, but it is blowing up, and we have to admit that this movie is blowing up with records and making a ton of money, making its entire budget back in the first 48 hours of release. It opens with a $40 million domestic, the biggest opening domestically for a biopic, beating all the other ones that I've mentioned before. So it is really, I think the name drew people in, and I'll admit, when I went and saw it, like, it's a fun time. Like, you go and you're watching Michael, like, overcome his brothers and his father and learn how to do stuff on his own. And while it is dramatized and it's not nearly enough of his story, and it's just like a feel-good kind of movie, like, even I was there, like, grooving to the music because it was so much fun, and like it was a fun movie. And while this movie necessarily could have been more with the fun and played more into the drama and the fun to make it an actual complete story and a great movie, really.
Like, yeah.
Like, that's what makes a good movie. That's what makes Oppenheimer. That's what makes like Avengers Infinity War. Like, it is a full story covering all these kind of different events, but also not straying away from the real drama of the characters.
You lean into the ugly, because it makes
Yes.
the good times feel so much sweeter.
Yes, and so while it was a fun time, if they dove into the drama, it would have made the fun even more of a good time. It would have made the audience even more like, oh man, he's overcome this, and now here he is, London singing Bad. Like, you just would feel even more happy for the guy. I mean, you still do watching that, because you're like, this is his first solo tour. He's finally doing it, and so you're like, this is great. I love the song. And it ends with a his story continues. That's how the movie ends. It ends with almost like, how in Avengers it says like Doctor Strange will return in
Thor
Avengers Doomsday.
will return in Avengers Doomsday.
It's pretty much that. It just says his story continues.
Yeah, because you said no, I don't think we talked about it yet. Movie 2, it's been the sequel. It's been greenlit already.
We haven't talked about it. It's been greenlit. It got greenlit within like the first 48 hours after the movie made its budget back. They were like, "Oh shoot, yep, we're good. Greenlight, we're doing it." So I'm hoping that with the second one, because the second half of the story is, I would say, more dramatized.
Yeah.
So I'm really hoping, because it got greenlit, and hopefully the Jackson estate is realizing by now that the people want to see the truth about Michael Jackson, and not what the media had portrayed him as in that time, but like the actual truth and what went on behind the scenes. Because the Jackson family knows. They know what happened. And so I'm really hoping that that's what this movie covers.
Also,
is what we don't know.
Yeah. Also, there's some evidence, the good old Epstein files, that
Epstein files.
Jackson was actually fairly innocent in what a lot of people were accusing him of. Where in the Epstein files, a lot of emails were talking bad about Michael. Which, if there's one place you want to be called where you want someone to talk bad about you, it'd be in the Epstein emails and the Epstein files. When
Epstein's complaining about you protecting kids, I feel like that is probably the best quote you can get.
That's a good sign, right?
That is a great sign.
It says like they need to lean into the drama. They need to lean into the court cases. They need to lean into all that and show, like you said, what really happened. And even maybe, I don't know if they should do this, but even like no, this is a bad idea. Never mind. I was gonna say dramatize.
Just say it.
I was gonna say like dramatize the Epstein Island, but I was like, no, that's a bad take. That's a bad touch. That's a bad touch.
I see where your mind was going, and I saw you workshopping that. But yes, I think that would be leave the whole Epstein stuff to Netflix.
Yeah.
Let them do the whole drama recreation like they did with Dahmer and all of those other terrible psychos.
Yeah.
Let Netflix take over that, and they can do that, and we won't watch it. But I think it still is important for them to portray what Michael Jackson did with those. And in this movie, the Michael, I think that they definitely showed some of that. Like, there's a scene where he's in a toy store and he's buying a whole bunch of toys for one of the hospitals. And in the movie, he goes around to a whole bunch of hospitals. Like, it's a constant, like, going back to hospitals to meeting kids. Like, that's what a celebrity usually does. But it seems like he did it almost, like, 3 times in this movie. Like, it became more of like, oh, we're back at the hospital again. And it's not because he was injured in the commercial. It was because he was just there visiting with kids and then gifting out toys. So I definitely think that they knew what they were doing, showing his love for kids. And from what I understand about reading some BTS and other stuff, that was what Michael always did, is he would go and visit the hospitals just to give those kids an uplifting spirit and just to say hi and just to meet them. So
malicious,
that was really
or
good
not,
of them
like,
to show.
Yeah, whether it be malicious or not, can't deny that he probably made a lot of children who are struggling with some of the worst times of their lives happier.
Extremely happy. And for some kids, like, who probably were on death row and were getting ready to say goodbye, like, the final joys of happiness and stuff. And I mean, in the movie we see him as a kid getting, beat by his dad and getting like put up on stage and trying to be perfect and like forcing him to be perfect and almost and beating him to be perfect. Like if he's not perfect, he would pull out his belt and start beating him and mentally discourage him as a kid. So he was trying to give those kids something better that he didn't have, that he wished he had probably. But so Michael, great movie. I'll kind of give it a little more in our what we're watching later in the episode, and then hopefully eventually Quinn will see it.
Maybe.
Eventually Quinn will see it and he will give us his review.
Yeah.
I did see actually, well, I'll talk about that later. I'll talk about that later when we're watching.
Oh yeah. I will say though, Michael, my pick.
This is true.
So when you said
Michael is Quinn's pick on his box office draft.
So when you said it broke his budget in the first 48 hours, the first weekend, it is I'm quite happy.
Quite happy. I can't imagine why, because it opens with a $217.4 million at a global box office opening weekend.
This and Project Hail Mary, which I haven't looked at the stats for Hail Mary since it came out. It and Hail Mary are going to be what carry me compared to drama and a couple of my other not so great picks.
Let's just say that it may have passed 600 million.
Feeling like a king.
Oh, shush. And it is still, it hasn't dropped like low. Like it's still third place right behind Super Mario.
I mean,
it's still up there.
I know a lot of people who are still
Sheesh.
like in my personal life still like, yeah, I still need to go watch it. I'm going to go watch it like this weekend or next weekend. I'm thinking about going and watching it because its theater stay got extended big time.
Yeah, it did. And it's coming back into theaters this summer.
Yeah.
And I think you sent me that one actually. And I remember reading it and then you sent to me. I was like, I know, I just got
this segment was not about Hail Mary or about,
no, it wasn't. It wasn't
about me, but also I made.
We'll get into that later. We're moving on from Michael and biopics.
Yes.
And gonna be talking about something new that's coming up for Netflix, and I thought it would be really fun to bring up and for you to see that image. We got our first look at the Netflix original Scooby-Doo series with our new cast taking over, live action. It looks good. I just want to say the pick that we see, the characters look great.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to see what Netflix is doing with this. This may be one of the best like recreations of a classic show. And so I'm excited.
Yeah. I can't remember if it was Netflix or some other streaming service. But they tried to do the
Velma?
Velma. They tried to do the Velma show. And
the animated show?
Yeah, and I think
the
that's
more like adult Velma.
Yeah, like the adult Velma show.
I think that was Adult Swim.
The HBO.
Oh, that makes sense.
And I think that's one of the most recent things from the Scooby-Doo universe.
And the Scoob movie, the animated Scoob movie that came out a couple years ago.
I forgot about Scooby.
Never watched it. Didn't watch it.
That one also didn't get great reviews.
No, it did not.
The animation style is weird. But yeah, like these past two kind of reintroductions, if you will, to the Scooby-Doo universe, the Scoob movie from 2020 and the Velma show from 2023, aren't great. They're really bad. Especially the Velma show. God, the Velma show is bad.
I think I watched an episode and I was like, what the heck is this?
Yeah. And so this feels like they are trying to make up for it and be like, don't worry, original cast is here. Fred isn't some, cuckadouche. Like, Shaggy is... Well, Shaggy's Shaggy. They don't show Scoob, but there's a prop print on the box, so I'm hoping Scooby's nearby.
Yeah. but Scoob will be CGI. Like, I just want everybody to
Oh,
know
they'll be
that
okay.
he is CGI. They have confirmed that, but I don't think you could do anything with an actual dog for that.
And
Like,
Scooby
it's
is
just
so
too. Like, Scooby is way too more than just a regular dog. Like, he's an actual character. He talks and stuff.
So I think they know they have to do this right, and so I don't think this is The
This
casting
looks
like you said,
good.
the casting looks great.
Yes. So I just want to go over the casting so some of you maybe who are listening and can't hear, but maybe you can recognize my names. But McKenna Grace is going to be Daphne Blake, and so she's shown up in lots of things. She's a big rising star. I'm loving her stuff. She's a great actor. She's been acting since she was a kid. She's been in that Gifted movie when she was a kid with Chris Evans. She's been a lot more recently. She's been in the Five Nights at Freddy's 2. She was in that movie most recently. She was in some drama rom-com I just saw recently with my sister. So she is a big rising star, and I'm excited to see what else she could do because I've seen her range, and I'm excited to see more of like what else she can do. Maybe more kid comedy and stuff. So she's playing Daphne. Tanner Hagen, he's in The Pit, an HBO series on the hospital. He's very interesting, but he's going to be playing Shaggy. Abby Ryder Forston, say again.
I was just gonna say I'm curious to see how that goes because he has some big shoes to fill in terms of live action Shaggies.
Yes, this is true.
Let's see if he can. Let's see if he can come through. Aaron, continue.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You're good. Abby Ryder Forston, she was the girl in the Ant-Man, Cassie, Scott Lane's little daughter, and then she was in Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Very good actress. She's very nice. She's playing Velma. Maxwell Jenkins, he was in Lost in Space, the Netflix show. Great show. If you just want to put on a really fun adventure thriller show with your family, very clean. Is Fred. So that is our 4. And Frank Welker is coming back as the Scooby-Doo voice. So he has been the voice since the remade show in 2002. And so a lot of people will recognize his voice when he comes back. And so I think, like we said before, Netflix is trying to do this right. And so they brought back Frank, and they're like, you're going to be this voice for Scooby. And he's like, love it.
Yep, sounds great. Row Raggy.
Row. And Paul Walter Hauser is coming as a unknown role, but it's suggested that he's going to be Scooby-Doo's original owner. So there's probably going to be a story arc there. But that is all we have for casting.
Yeah, I
that
noticed that this is a very young cast.
Very
we are both
young.
older than every member of the cast, other than Scooby's voice actor. Like, they are clearly doing an early Mystery Gang. This isn't like, they're not like 10 years into their career as the Mystery Gang. This, I feel like, might be like mystery number 1 for them, just
Right.
based off how young they are.
I think they're hoping to do kind of like a Harry Potter kind of thing where they cast young, and I mean, just based off the cast and based off some early reports of the story and the sets are big, and Netflix is pulling all the stops for this show, is that they're going to do more seasons, that this is going to be a returning show, and that this is going to be like a Netflix staple, maybe the next Stranger Things. Some people are comparing it to the next Stranger Things.
Which
Because
I hope
Stranger Things is done, so we don't have
Yeah.
any like horror mystery type of show. This is the perfect show to replace that with
And
young cast.
I'm so down if it does well, because I mean, like everyone, I love the Scooby-Doo mythos. I love Scooby.
I love
like I hope this goes good and we get more seasons of this.
I would
Like,
love a
I
Scooby-Doo revamp.
I will watch the heck out of this when it comes out and if it's good, and I will be eagerly waiting for season 2 if it's good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we know Netflix can do some pretty good things, but Netflix can also destroy some things. So this is definitely a 50-50, but just from looking at the cast and the picture, I'm turning more into like a 60-40 just because the cast looks amazing. So We shall see. We're going to keep on going. This was just a small little thing, but I saw this because there are some Nemo fanatics out there, and I know some people who watch our show who love the Nemo franchise and love the Pixar. That a new Nemo project is in the works. We don't know what it is, if it's going to be a Pixar short or if it's going to be another movie, but we know that it's in development and has Ellen coming back as Dory. That is it. That is literally all we know. I tried to find more. That's about it as I can find.
I mean, even that tells us a good amount. Ellen coming back as Dory after everything that all the controversy surrounding her is a bold choice.
Well, you can't replace Dory's voice. You can't replace Ellen as that voice. And while yes,
could.
Well, yes, Ellen, the drama with her and stuff and all that. But, I mean, the voice for Dory is iconic, and I really can't see another person filling in that role. And if they did do another person filling in that role, I feel like that would just kind of mess up the flow of the Nemo movie or show or short or whatever they do.
I mean, I'll withhold my judgment until it comes out.
Or whatever it is that comes out.
Yeah, right. So yeah, but putting that out there, we're not, Ellen's been some controversies, we know. Yeah.
Okay, let's get into something a little more interesting. I totally forgot this was happening, but Enola Holmes 3 was moving forward. We hadn't heard anything until we got a couple new images from the movie. A trailer is set to come out in the next month, in May probably, because that's the whole Netflix thing. They release it like maybe a month or two before the actual movie or show comes out. So we got some first images and stuff. And it looks okay. It's Enola Holmes. I like the first one, but the only reason I like the Enola Holmes movies is because my boy Henry Cavill is Sherlock, and I love him as Sherlock.
There's one big set picture that's been going around of her kind of leaning around the wall.
Yep.
With gel nail extensions in 1880s.
Yes.
Which is a bit anachronistic. Not saying that nail beauty wasn't a thing back then, but gel nail extensions were not.
I'm so glad you're bringing this up because I was going to.
Yes, I saw some people talking about it online because I didn't even see it at first, but now I can't unsee it. It's like, oh my god, yeah, that she looks like she's in like a Ren fair now because of those freaking nails. She's not in 1880, she's in a 2026 Ren fair. Yep, they look properly manicured and taken care of.
The meme pulling up to 1885 with a fresh gel set.
With a fresh gel set, perfectly manicured, no showing of like rough and tumble detective work, just pristine.
Yep.
Like
Oh.
So
love it.
That has diminished my hope just a little bit of being if that slipped through the cracks, what else did?
What else is going to slip through the cracks? And like I said before, the only reason I actually like these movies is not because of Millie Bobby Brown. No, she is a terrible actress. She displays no emotion. Watch Stranger Things season 5 and you will watch her and you're like, this is like a lifeless mannequin. Anyway, Enola Holmes, the only reason you watch it is for Sherlock, for Henry Cavill being one of my favorite Sherlock actors ever. I don't know. This Enola Holmes has been kind of like Netflix's Black Lamb, really, just because it's been really good for them. The first two have done really well for them, and so coming back with a third will either, destroy that franchise or end it with a satisfying end. So
yeah, this needs to be the conclusion either way. It's just
this needs to be the end.
Yeah, just Netflix needs to decide how they want it to end. They want it to end a cash grab or it's like an actual passion project.
Yeah, who knows? That comes out July 1st, so be on the lookout for a trailer. If it comes out, maybe we'll review it, maybe not, just because we'll see what kind of mood I am.
Yeah, I
that
haven't
day.
even watched. I haven't even watched the first two. So
Oh, there you go. He hasn't even watched the first 2.
yeah, if it comes out and it's good, I'll watch the first 2 and we can talk about the third. But yeah,
There you go. In final news, the DC Studios, James Gunn has announced, this is probably the first thing we've heard from him since CinemaCon, that the Authority film has been canceled. And James is quoted saying that it just didn't fit with their schedule of movies and story that they were trying to convey. I kind of saw this coming because when it was announced that he was trying to do an Authority movie in the first phase of his world, that I was really confused. Like, I'd understand when he introduced the engineer, who is a big part of the Authority, one of the leaders, but we didn't really get to know the engineer, and she was the only person that we actually got to meet out of the Authority, which is a group of 5 or 6. I think it's 6. But still, it didn't really make sense to me, so I kind of saw this coming back when they were announcing his first phase of Gods and Monsters.
there's a lot of people who have been agents of the Authority for a while, so I can't find an exact number of how many there are at one time.
Yeah, it's the Authority has kind of been like the Midnight Suns in Marvel, and like how they just have so many different characters that just join eventually and like leave, and then other people join, and like they don't really have one central character. So
I mean, the engineer seems to be pretty consistent, or at least
Yes.
one of the more consistent characters.
definitely the most consistent.
Yeah. So this doesn't mean that it's gone for good, though, right? Like this, like it will probably come back at some point.
No.
But the world just needs to be built up before they do.
Yes. So that was very clear that it just was canceled, but like not like completely destroyed and like not gonna do it. Like eventually they're probably gonna do it. I mean, James Gunn was able to do Creature Commandos in his studio and make that work in an
Which
animated show. So
I'm still waiting for season 2.
it
Give us
is
news
coming.
about season 2.
It is coming. He confirmed that it was coming. So eventually we will get news on that. But
Season
we
1
shall
ended on
see.
such a freaking bummer ending. Give me season 2.
give me season 2.
Give me season 2. Sorry. I love the show. And it ended with such a...
So
you don't
yeah.
talk about it. I won't talk about it.
Here we go. Here's some characters. You want me to go over some characters that were in the Authority
Yes, you can.
in the comics? So current members right now in the current running comics are Apollo, Enchantress, Kelix, Lightray, Midnighter, Steel, and Omak. The founding members, the Doctor, Dr. Fate, Jenny Sparks, Manchester Black, and the leader of the Authority is Superman. I totally forgot about that, but Superman is the leader of the Authority in the comics. So I don't know if they were planning on doing that in the movie. Like that would make sense. I would hope.
Like Superman kind of starts this group because I don't know. There needs to be more civilian defense against aliens or something.
Right. So I think what James Gunn was trying to do was to introduce the Authority as like something that Superman was starting on his own with these superheroes that he just met in the Superman movie and maybe some other shows that we met. And then it all comes crumbling down, and like that's the movie is him forming a team and failing and realizing that he needs like a partner or someone else to do a team with, which then leads to the Justice League. But I think maybe James Gunn saw that as just too much, and he wants to get to the Justice League as soon as possible, following in the footsteps of Marvel, showing that you introduce your characters, then you have them come together to form a team, then that team is established, and then you can make more movies about more characters or of the characters of the Justice League.
You need to see people want to see the big hitters before they see the C and D tier heroes.
Right.
They want to see the Wonder Woman. They want to see Batman. They want to see the Flash before you even touch those like lesser known heroes, right? It's like, don't worry.
Yeah.
We got some big hitters here. It's all right. Pat, 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 pat. Don't panic. Before, yeah.
I just wanted to go over. I'm gonna see if I can find the image again of the slate of movies that DC Studios has confirmed, like coming in like this phase.
Yes.
Oh yeah, here it is. Perfect, I found it. Okay, so these are the confirmed movies that are coming out, like in the DC Studios, the slate, and what have been confirmed, and we don't have any information on, but we know are in development, writing stuff. So we had Superman, we got Peacemaker season 2, we have Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, Lantern Show, Clayface coming out later this year. We'll talk about that here soon.
We'll be talking about that later.
Yes, and Batman Part 2 coming out in October of 27. We have
which ones?
Part 2.
Okay, so the
Christopher
Batterson.
Reeves. Yeah, Christopher Reeves Batman. Not
Okay.
part of the DC Studios universe, but is under the DC Studios headline.
Got it. That's why I was a little confused.
Again-
Like, that's not the James Gunn universe. That's
No.
a different universe.
No, again, we don't know what James Gunn is going to do with that universe, if he's going to expand it, if this is the last one in the Reeves thing, we will see.
Yeah.
We have Dynamic Duo, which is going to be an animated show of
Jason and Dick, I think.
yes.
Yeah.
Or no, Damien and Dick.
Damien and
It's
Dick.
Damien and Dick. It's an animated show, I'm pretty sure, or an animated movie or something like that. And then the movies that are in development is a series called Waller, around Amanda Waller. We have a Batman: The Brave and Bold, the Batman introduction. We have a Swamp Thing movie coming out. We have a Booster Gold series coming out, which I am actually really interested in because I think Booster Gold is an OP superhero and doesn't get talked about a lot.
He is a speedster, is he not?
He's a time traveler.
He's a time traveler. Oh, okay.
He's a time traveler, which is why it's going to be super interesting what they do with that show.
Yeah, time travel always gets a little funky.
We have a Paradise Lost series in the works, and so that more likely will be a show about the island Paradise, and a Blue Beetle series in development
I wonder
to
if
expand more on the DC on Blue Beetle, because if you don't know, James Gunn has confirmed that the Blue Beetle movie that came out a couple years ago is canon to the DC Studios universe. So he is saying that the actor for Blue Beetle, I can't remember his name, but he's very good.
It's
It's with an X.
X at
It's
the
with
start
an
of the name
X.
is weird. Zolo Maridueña.
Yes, that guy. He is going to be reprising his role as Blue Beetle for the rest of the DC Studios universe. Really happy. He's great. He did all his own stunts. He has been like studying karate and all that because he was in Cobra Kai. Love that show.
Yeah.
Big heart.
Yeah, I
and
know.
then-
He was never the issue with that movie not doing great. Everyone kind of loved him in his portrayal of Blue Beetle.
He wasn't the issue. It was just the story was the issue. He was
Yeah.
great. He was great. The suit looked great. It was just the story
yeah.
that was kind of iffy. But we're not talking about that right now. And then I did see something about because we got announced that an Untitled project was in the works, that Untitled project is going to be a Wonder Woman movie. So we will eventually be getting our big three of Batman and Wonder Woman.
Hope
but in the
justice
middle-
and a better future.
In the middle of that, we're going to be getting some series and other movies about the monster side, like Clayface, like Swamp Thing, and then
Creature Commandos.
Creature Commandos season 2, like we got some more stuff coming up.
Yeah.
So I did see something that one of the untitled things may be a Titans movie. And
Interesting. Okay.
that's like at the very end. Like that was like one of the end of the phase. It's like they're Avengers, they're Justice League, but I don't know what. Like, so I'm wondering if Titans is gonna be like maybe Titans versus Justice League kind of comic book run. I don't know.
I hope.
So
I mean,
we should see.
Yeah, I hope they give Titans, like the Teen Titans and the Titans in general, just kind of a chance to shine. The live action show wasn't bad. In fact, it was actually well received. It just didn't feel like tight. I don't know. I feel like it needs a better representation than what they
Right.
got.
I think, yeah. Well, I'm excited for just anything Titans related. I feel like they're often overlooked and just goofed around because of the show and stuff, but they are
Because of
awesome.
freaking Teen Titans Go. God, that show sucks.
Oh, I love that show. It's so funny. Listen, while there are I have some differences with the show as well, but I love that show just because of the humor and stuff that they bring into that show. Super funny. Love that show.
I need to watch the original Teen Titans. I need to wash my brain out from that Go.
Listen, the original Teen Titans is way better than Go. I fully support that. I think they should have kept the original and not have gone to Go.
They should have kept the original art style. I think Go would be better if it wasn't this freaking like half chibi art style.
That's true. Actually, is very true. That could have been the problem. Is they
Yeah.
made it too kid cartoony.
Anyway, that's not what we're talking about right now. Sorry, I got us off track again.
We were talking DC, so
That's
it
close
works. Let's get into trailers.
enough. Yes, I
We only have a couple.
Actually, watch these trailers ahead of time.
Perfect.
Not as we're about to start.
Perfect.
I tend to do.
What? You don't do that. You come prepared.
No, I'm a professional. I know how to podcast.
We're starting with the trailer that just got released last week after we ended recording.
Yep.
The next DC movie after Supergirl, Clayface, like we mentioned earlier. Quinn, first reactions, first thoughts.
Pure freaking body horror, and I love it. It's what needs to be. Yes, like. Give me a second. Oh yeah, we need to talk about that. Sorry, I got distracted by something. Yeah, it is pure body horror in the purest sense, and I love it. It's what Clayface needs to be. Just him staring at the camera with his face cut off as clips pass by. Oh, it makes you so uneasy. Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, it's a new take for sure, and it's definitely interesting to introduce Clayface without introducing Batman first, and so it's definitely a new way to go at things, and I think that's going to be really interesting. So I'm really excited to see what they do with the whole Clayface thing. If they turn him into some sort of anti-hero, or if they show him becoming a villain in like his downfall.
This might be a hot take. I'm kind of sick of like, these villains are actually anti-heroes shtick that a lot of studios have been doing recently. Or like, oh, this villain is understandable with the cruelty they do. It's like, no, just make him bad.
Just make him bad.
Just make Clayface bad. Don't make him an anti-hero. Don't make him an understandable villain. Just make him bad.
Just make him bad.
Yeah.
And I did see, and James Gunn has confirmed in Twitter, because he's always on Twitter. Well, X, I guess now. That he has confirmed that this takes place before Superman, chronologically. So, I don't know if we have a Batman sighting show up like we saw in Creature Commandos. We know Batman exists in the DC studios. We know he exists because Creature Commandos confirmed that.
Yeah.
And I think there was some line in Superman that also confirmed some vigilante
Yeah, I think no. I know Gotham was meant or like teased with a billboard that's or like a traffic sign that's like 100 miles to Gotham that way or
Gotham
something.
City, yeah.
Yeah.
So-
So it's like definitely Gotham and more than likely Batman's in the universe already. You know, maybe not entirely established. Maybe this is like a year 2 thing. You know, year 3. You know, he's kind of getting his
Right.
footing. But yeah, we'll see.
I would be fine with a Easter egg of Batman. That's all I
100%.
really. That's all I really ask for. Like, yes, this movie is about Clayface. Focus on Clayface. Love
Yeah.
it. Focus on him. Focus on his character arc, his development into becoming a villain, so that we can understand him more. And hopefully, he is the villain of a Batman project coming up. So then
Yeah.
we feel more connected to both characters, Batman and Clayface. But end it with like either the bat signal turning on or like Batman standing above just the shadowy figure. Like,
Right, like
I don't
just his
I don't need a
outline.
lot. Just give me just give me a little bit to have hope in you, James, that Batman's coming back, because I like a lot of people, Batman is my favorite DC guy, and I need him to show up, and I'm really excited to go to the movie theaters to watch a Batman movie again.
Yeah.
So, give me some Batman. Just give me a little tease, James. That's all I ask.
What I appreciate about this movie is that Clayface has always kind of felt like in every project he's been in, a hero of the week. Because you have Batman and his kind of reoccurring villains. You have the Penguin, the Joker, Catwoman, depending on
Riddle.
if you see her. Yeah, Riddler, Catwoman, depending if you see her as a villain. Clayface tends to get forgotten as either a side villain or like
Or like a
the-
goon to the villain.
right, like,
Like
a
he's
goon to
he's
the
a
Joker.
henchman.
Yeah.
To the yeah.
Yeah, so I'm happy to see him taking the spotlight here because there's a lot of stuff you can do with Clayface. Because he is genuinely terrifying. He is
Genuinely.
scarier than the Joker, in my opinion. Like,
Genuinely.
like he is near indestructible, can take any form he wants. Like, he is so charismatic, even in a monstrous form. He is scarier than the Joker, in my opinion. And they just don't do a lot with him.
They don't. So it's really good that he's getting his own movie, and I think this will bring a lot of people out of the woodwork to watch a DC Studios horror movie. I think
Yeah.
that appeals to a larger audience than people are expecting. So we'll see. We trust you, James. We trust you. We know what you're doing. and
You've only had bangers since you started.
you've only
working
had
on Marvel.
banners yet. So you've done Marvel banners, you've done a DC banner, and so we're really excited to see why you greenlit this project so fast.
Yeah.
And why it moved up from, I believe when you announced it, from like early 28 to 26. Like, this has been so fast, the production on this, just because you love the script and stuff. So I'm really excited to see why you moved it up, to see your vision. We're gonna watch it.
Yeah.
We're gonna watch it. It's probably gonna be one of my first body horror movies I'm gonna watch. But I'm actually excited to watch this one. Other ones I've been like iffy, and I've just watched because the Oscars and stuff, accolades. But this one is going to be really interesting, so I'm excited to see this.
There's one scene that's gonna get me, and it's the mobster cutting off his face with the knife that you saw
Don't.
in the trailer.
Yep.
Yeah, that scene's gonna get me. Him with like the clay face and like moving his hand and the face coming with it, like that's fine. But yeah, the knife is in it.
It's the actual like hurting the body. It's not so much like the body morphine and stuff like that's cool and really interesting, but it's the actual.
Like imagine the
Ugh.
pain of your face getting skinned off.
I don't want to imagine that. That sounds terrible. Ow. Let's keep going. Let's move on to something fun. So Clayface comes out on October 23rd. Be on the lookout. Next trailer that came out that I saw that gave a little more of the story and what we're gonna expect from this series. Spider Noir,
Yes.
starring Nicolas Cage, coming out May 26th, I believe.
You have it as May 26th on the script, so I'm gonna go with that.
I believe it's coming out May 26th or 7th because I know it comes out early on MGM Plus for all you losers who pay for that subscription on the May 25th. But this trailer shows more of his story and what we're going to expect from this character.
Yeah, it looked really good.
Yes, I'm excited.
I can't wait.
The superheroes, or sorry, the villains look very stylized and
Yeah.
like almost like an old noir film. Like the
Yeah.
effects look super cool.
This movie drips
Serious.
noir. Like, it drips The Big Sleep. Or, like, any other old noir film, like black and white.
Marquise Falcon.
Marquis Falcon, like, those old... When did The Big Sleep come out?
Is
The
that 50?
46. Like,
Oh, 46.
This-
I was close.
what did you say?
I said 50.
Yeah, like these old 40s, 50s, like black and white movies. Like, I love it. And the femme fatale walking in to the detective office, like I can imagine the inner monologue during that scene. I hope they do it.
There she was walking into my office.
Her face screamed trouble. God, why does trouble always find
Why
me?
does trouble
Like,
always find me?
Like give us a give us a Nicolas Cage inner monologue as a detective. That's what I want.
Yeah, I agree. But
Yeah.
if you didn't watch the trailer just kind of shows how in this 50s, 40s New York that Spider Noir was a prominent hero until a tragic family incident or passing or whatever, and so he hung up the hood or the mask of the Spider Noir and just kind of went into investigating, and then it sounds like some villains come out of the woodwork and start causing terror, and those closest to him are like, you gotta put back the suit on and you gotta fight. And so it's gonna be a more like a redemptive kind of story of him finding his place on why he does it, which is very Spider-Man like.
Oh, 100%.
Like showing him like how he's done with the mask and stuff. Very Spider-Man 2. Happens a lot in the comics, how he's loses someone and he's like, I'm done, can't do this anymore, and then gets pulled back in and then realizes why he's doing it and finds a new reason to do it. So
other people need me, not just the ones I love, but everyone.
right. And it's Nick Cage, so
And it's Nick Cage. And the costume looks so good.
oh, the costumes.
There's
awesome.
there's one scene where it's like an overhead shot with the coat like flowing out, the hat. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
It looks so good.
It looks so good. And again, we saw more of that bar fight that I love so much. That
Yes.
looks super stylized, and just like him taking a punch but then dodging another, and just like showing how he's just not really into the fight, but like
No,
will
this is like,
eventually beat him up.
this is like this is a Monday for him. Like this is nothing.
He's like,
I'd rather not get in trouble, but God,
it always finds me.
trouble always finds me.
So yeah, that is coming up next month. So be on the lookout for that.
Yes.
We will be reviewing that and probably an episode by episode because we're gonna be watching it and we're super excited. We've been talking about it since our first episode.
Yes.
If you remember.
Because
This
we've
is
both
our
been
baby.
super excited for it.
This is kind of like our show, so we are excited for this. Moving on to the other teaser trailer I put in here because I just wanted to remind everybody that a season 4 of Ted Lasso is still happening, and it is coming out August 5th, and we got a little teaser. Teaser trailers are usually just montages of clips and put to a really fun soundtrack.
Yep, and that's what it was.
Quinn, first reactions, first thoughts.
Well, first thing is that there's a lot of recurring characters. I didn't expect Brent Goldstein, Roy, to come back. Juno Temple, Keeley is coming back. Coach Beard had to come back.
Coach Beard has to come back. Love
Yeah,
him.
yeah. He's Ted's right hand. But yeah, so it's gonna be a new team, right? Phil Dunster, Jamie's not coming back.
No,
Toheeb
because he's
Jamon.
busy right now filming How to Train Your Dragon 2.
Yeah. So it's like the old team isn't really, might not come back or haven't been revealed to be coming back.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah, but there's enough old faces to be like, okay, it's still Ted Lasso. We're still going to get those like good interactions between Ted and Rebecca, Roy and Keeley, Coach Beard and Ted and all that. We're still going to get those moments. So it's all right. New team is all right. You know, it feels comforting. I still need to watch Ted Lasso in full. I've just seen clips. But it's on
you
Apple
definitely need to watch.
But it's on Apple TV, and I don't have Apple TV, so I can't, unfortunately.
Yep.
Yep.
But highly recommend watching it. It cures depression. That's
Yep.
been like studied and confirmed. So if you ever feeling depressed, watch that show.
Ted
It will
Lasso
cure it.
drops these bombs in the best way possible.
He drops the truth bombs and like the best advice, and then you watch him struggle, and like then you just feel sad, and then you're there with him, watching him struggle, but also give advice to the other players and to other people around him, and it just makes the show all the more better, knowing what he goes through, but also what he gives out. So, yes, season 4 coming up. It looks great, like Quinn said. Lots of returning characters. I think that's what sells it, is that the main characters really are the ones that are coming back. Like the ones in charge, the management team, they're all coming back. And I didn't see a lot of the male football players coming back, but that's because this season's more going to dive into the girl side of the football team.
Sorry, I'm trying to think of. So what's the football league called?
The team?
No, the
Premier League?
The Premier, yeah, I forget. I guess it's the Premier League. It's European. The Women's Premier League.
The Women's Premier League.
It has a special name in America.
It does. I'm pretty sure it's just soccer, women's soccer.
Give me a second.
Okay.
Keep talking. I'll look it up.
Okay, sorry. What I was gonna say is that it's exciting that I'm more excited that we're not getting a lot of the male football characters back. I think maybe eventually they'll probably make an appearance and they should cameo, but they're introducing to us a whole new set of female football players to not replace, but to add to the story and to give new characters. Because when you do a season after ending it so well on season 4, and when they announced that season 4 was coming out, everybody's like, okay, love it, but what are you going to do? Like, they had to do something crazy different to come back and have it worth it. This is that crazy different. They're introducing females as the next football team, and that's our next characters that he's going to be coaching to be growing. So it's going to be a really season 1 Ted Lasso coming back as a season 4.
Yeah, the boys have had their growth, right? All the boys have had their chance.
Yes,
to
and that
grow and become better.
was super important in the 3rd season, was closing off all of these character arcs and closing up the book on their stories. So now you reopen the book with some new characters, and so I haven't seen any backlash really. I've been looking to see if there's been backlash, but it's been all really moderate. People are extremely happy to see Ted Lasso come back, and so
at the very least,
should be good.
It's Ted Lasso, right?
Yeah.
The big thing is that Brett Goldstein is back, and he was a lead writer, I think, for Ted Lasso.
He was.
So he's probably going to also be writing season 4 as well.
I think he is. I think I saw something about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So with him at the helm, it's it's going to have the same quality of writing.
Yeah.
I trust it.
So then the next question is if this does good, is Apple going to keep going forward with maybe do another three season trilogy with these new characters? Because I said, it's a new book, it's a new character, they're new characters, they need growth. Is Apple TV going to continue this? What do you think?
I think if it does well, they'd have to, right? Because so I will say they kind of put themselves in a little bit of a trap by doing the women's team, because they do it, but if they don't complete their story, it's okay, why aren't you giving more time to the women, right?
Right.
So it's it needs to do well, because if it doesn't do well, they're going to get backlash. And if they don't continue it after it does well, they're going to get backlash. So it's it has to do well, and it has to continue.
Right.
Yeah. That's the only way forward that Apple can take and still succeed.
Yeah. I wanted you to say that. I wanted you to say that Apple TV has really backed themselves into a corner, because I also thought about that. I was like, this is pretty much like getting yourself shoved into an alley and you have no way to escape, because there is no way out of this.
No.
There's no good way out of this.
It has to be good. And if it's not good, you have screwed yourself. And
Royally
if it doesn't
messed
continue, if it doesn't continue after it does well, you've royally screwed up.
Yep.
So the only way forward is to do well and to continue it. Which
And to continue.
boo-hoo, more seasons of Ted Lasso with expert writing and some of the best dramas that you've ever seen. Oh no!
I know. This is like one of the shows where it's like, okay, cool, you're continuing it, because it's like we know that they're gonna do it right, and we know that the writers are actually gonna make these good stories. It's not like some show that like is just dragging on, and it's like, oh my gosh, we're doing more of this.
There's so many. We could point
There
to.
are a lot of shows. No, give me like 2 examples right now.
2 examples. All right. Supernatural. I think.
Yep.
Went off too long. And you're gonna hate me for this. Fast and Furious. I think doesn't need 10, 11, 12, 100 movies.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Yeah. No,
I'm fine.
you saw something on the floor. You just had to pick it up.
I had to move my clean clothes.
We're not college students, trust me.
No. Our floor is literally not riled with clothes on the ground right now.
Yeah, I usually have my laundry basket like right there. I move it at the start of every episode, so it's right next to me outside of the camera view.
I know. I'm like sometimes like, is everything messy or is that decent back there on my shelf? It's
Right,
well,
I could clean this up, but
yeah.
ignore that.
You definitely need some like posters back here on your white wall or just something.
Just bear. Hey, you know, if I win,
if you win
the bet, I get a
the
cool
box
poster.
office draft.
I get the Sinners poster.
You get that Sinners poster. Yeah, this is true. And if I win, it goes right here too. So. It's pretty nice.
Oh wait, no, that is a view of your other camera. I forget.
I'm looking at my other one. I really need to figure out how to like transfer it so then you can see what my camera is.
Yeah,
And
just
also so I can record straight from my computer onto a file instead of hoping it works.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of tech issues, if you haven't noticed, from last episode.
Yeah, for viewers who do not know, when Joe is looking straight on like he is now, he is looking at me through his camera on his computer. He is not looking. His camera that you guys are looking at, which is up here, is different than the camera he uses to look at me. Whereas my camera is one and the same. I'm pointing at you viewers and Joe.
Listen, listeners, I am a geek nerd, as per this podcast, and in more ways than one, and not just movies and film. I am into cameras and video equipment and gimbals and batteries and mics and all of that. And so instead of just recording off of my camera from my lovely laptop, I said I have a super awesome Canon camera that shoots 4K. I'm going to set that up. Sorry.
And for this podcast,
Oh my gosh.
and for this podcast, I bought myself a $30 1080p camera. It might even be 720.
I think it's 780p.
1080, okay. Yeah, I bought myself a 1080 camera that isn't fancy in the slightest. It's like $30.
It works.
It's the cheapest camera I can find.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to sneeze again. Quinn sent us to break.
Yeah. Okay. While Joe gets over his sneezing fit allergies, we're gonna head off to break to give Joe's cameras some time to settle and give us.
Don't blame it on me.
Well, I'm also gonna say I'm gonna use the restroom, so I can use the restroom.
Say we're taking a break. You don't have to say restroom. Just say we're taking a break. You don't
Break
have to
time!
explaining.
We'll see you in a second.
Oh my gosh. Bye.
Welcome back. We are back from break, and we are all ready to continue with our movie review. Would you like me to reveal what that review is, or would you want to? Do you want to, Joe?
No. Today's Geek Dive. Today, Geek Dive TD. Editor, blow it up. Today's Geek Dive is the classic from, what was that, 06?
2006.
06, The Devil Wears Prada, in preparation for The Devil Wears Prada 2, which is releasing this first
year.
weekend of May, starring Anne
Just an
Hathaway,
incredible cast.
Meryl Streep. What?
Just an incredible cast, and it's just
Well, just say an incredible cast, because it really is just an incredible cast, and I don't need to really go into
I mean, you
more
could-
because you should know the cast by now.
I mean, you can get into it. Please do. I'm just saying.
The cast truly is incredible. So we are gonna get into the review today, and we're gonna start off with the Quinn Explains, and then
I
we'll get
try
into...
my freaking best.
Oh yeah, that's what it's called. Sorry, Quinn tries his freaking blessed. And then we can get into more of what we thought of the movie.
Yes. All right. So, I'm going into it. This movie opens up with Andrea, also known as Andy, a recent graduate from Northwestern University, trying to become the assistant. Jesus, I'm so sorry. To the Runway magazine's head editor, Miranda Priestley. Andy somehow gets the job, but is burdened with all the responsibilities and Miranda's and irrational demands. And when Andy messes up one portion of her job, which is a flight back for Miranda, Miranda berates Andy, who then runs to Nigel, the art director for Runaway, who I love,
We all
to ask
love
for
Nigel.
advice. I'll get more into that later, but Nigel was great. Nigel, who helps Andy to pick new clothing and who guides Andy through the job a little bit. It's a little bit implied, and it's a little bit implied because of how much Andy improves at her job, outperforming the head assistant. Since Andy's only the junior assistant, she outperforms the head assistant, Emily, who yearns to go to Paris for a fashion weekend as Miranda's assistant. And wanting not to be forgotten, Emily forgets to eat to try and slim down and trying to become more attractive. In doing so, become heavily sick and embarrasses herself in front of Miranda by forgetting important guests for a charity benefit that Miranda's going to. Andy, though, helps Emily, and the charity benefit goes well. So well, in fact, that Miranda asks Andy to accompany her to Paris. Andy calls Emily, but Emily gets hit by a car. So while Andy's visiting Emily in the hospital, Andy tells Emily, who then Emily snaps at Andy, and shortly after, Andy's boyfriend breaks up with her due to Andy becoming very much like the people that she used to criticize for the super fashionable plastic people. Plastic is going to be a word you're going to be hearing a lot from me. The very plastic people who reads and who absorbs Runway, the magazine. When going to Paris, Andy learns that Miranda's husband is filing for a divorce, and also learns that Miranda is going to be undercut by Jacqueline Follet, who is the editor-in-chief to the French counterpart of Runway. It's also revealed that Nigel has accepted a job as a creative director for another designer. And this is a big thing for Nigel because it'll give him freedom and it'll be a big boost in his opportunities and stuff. And so they celebrate. However, following luncheon, Miranda announces that Jacqueline will actually be Holt's new creative director due to some backdoor deals and handshakes on Miranda's part, which shocks Andy and Nigel since that was Nigel's dream. While in the car with Miranda, Andy questions Miranda's decision, and Miranda reveals that she knew about the scheme to have her be overtaken by Jacqueline. So she sacrifices Nigel's ambitions to preserve her own job. And Andy's like, hey, that's not cool. But Miranda's like, hey, you did the same thing with Emily. Like, you're becoming like me. And everyone wants to become like me. With that realization, Andy leaves Paris and quits her job at the runway. Back in New York, Andy and Nate make up and talk about possibly moving to Boston together, since Nate got a new job as a sous chef up in there. But Andy also gets a job interview at the Mirror magazine, who is like, hey, so Runway called and said that you were also a disappointment, but also I'd be an idiot for not hiring you. So now that Andy has a new job and is possibly getting back with her boyfriend up in Boston, she offloads her clothing that she got from Paris to Emily as a making amends. And when when Andy sees Miranda doesn't make any acknowledgement. However, the movie ends with Miranda smiling to herself, knowing that Andy is doing well for herself, even though she's not at Runway anymore. And that's how the movie ends.
That's how the movie ends. Yeah, that was great. That was a really good recap right there. First impressions of the movie. We kind of saw some of yours on your first take. Go watch that on the Instagram. But just for the listeners, maybe they didn't hear it, but give us your initial overviews and what you thought of the movie.
My initial overviews have changed since. So do you want me to give my reviews of when I made the video or now?
Because
they have changed. Now. Okay.
And then explain why it changed. So explain that.
So I actually really like this movie.
Told you.
Shut up.
I'm just gonna say that. Sorry. Keep going. Put a crown on it. Sorry.
Jesus. Because of the acting and the later part of the movie, my opinions of the first part of the movie still remain, and that I didn't like probably the first fifth of the first quarter of the movie. That hasn't changed. That time is very uncomfortable, and kind of very tense, purposely so, but not in a way that I like. And then after Nigel gives Andy the makeover and some advice, that's when the movie started to pick up for me, and I started to really like it. Just because it was so well acted. Meryl Streep, she could do anything. She could
to quote Project Hail Mary.
Quote Project Hail Mary.
Ryland Grace.
She could do anything. She plays the asshole boss so well, with such grace and elegance. Yeah, she stole the show. She stole the movie big time. And of course Nigel becoming such good friends with Andy and being just such a good mentor to Andy. After that first quarter of the movie, that's super tense and stressful, the rest of the movie becomes a really enjoyable ride. Still tense and still stressful in some parts, and it's still a drama. So the scene where Andy and her boyfriend break up, that's super stressful.
Right.
But everything else is super. It's a good ride through the rest of the movie. The reason I didn't like it at first was because I didn't appreciate it for what it was. I saw it very superficially. I was like, the beginning of the movie, I had a hard time getting through the start of the movie, and so I just kind of I put it down. Actually, I got through the first quarter of the movie. I was like, I don't want to watch the rest of this. I put it down and read a synopsis on Wiki. I was like, okay, no, you know what? I need to actually watch the rest of it. So I begrudgingly picked it up and watched the rest of it. And so that first quarter kind of tainted my views of the rest of the movie. But I took a step back, thought about the rest of the movie, and realized, no, the movie is really good, and I understand why it's getting a second movie. So, yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna say it. I told you so that you were gonna like it. But
I hate you. For the audience, that's a joke. That's a joke for the audience.
Deny it though. You couldn't deny it that you came around on it and you realized why this movie was so darn popular, and why it's getting a sequel now, and why it's coming back, and why it's been regarded as one of the best, fashion kind of movies.
Yeah.
But that is great to hear. I'm going to give just kind of a little backstory on this movie for me. This wouldn't be my first time watching this. I watched this a while ago. One of my first couple movies that I watched when I was a younger lad.
Younger lad, when you weren't 20.
When I weren't 21, but
21.
when I was probably around like 15 or 14. And I remember watching it, and I was probably in the same boat as you, as like, I don't know why I'm watching this. I don't know how I came across watching it either. Like, that's totally a mystery for me that I don't understand fully. But I totally remember watching the first time and saying, this is kind of strange, but I stuck with it. And I kept watching, and it just got better and better as you went along. And I remember watching that as a kid, and I was just like, you know what? That was actually really good. That was a good movie. And then, I tried to bring it up with some of my friends and be like, have you ever seen this movie called Devil Wears Prada? They're like, no.
Based off our friend group, yeah, I'm not surprised that didn't go so well for you.
And so I didn't bring it up. I didn't, think anybody else really would like my opinion on that movie, and so I just kind of kept to myself. And I've gone back and rewatched it a couple times, and so I was really excited that when they announced a sequel coming out, I was like, let's go. They're bringing back one of my old classics that I loved as a kid,
A reason to talk about this movie again.
Exactly. I have a reason to talk about this, to bring this movie up and to show my friends, hey, this movie isn't dumb. This movie was actually very good, and it's a lot deeper than a lot of people think. And so go watch it. So, to all my old high school friends, go watch it. But that is my history with the movie, so I was very excited that we were going to do this. And I just watched it this morning before we started filming, because I was busy doing other stuff and watching other movies that I had on my list that I wanted to. But I wanted to rewatch this movie again. I had rewatched this movie like earlier this year, so I had it pretty remembered, and so I was like, I don't know if I really need to rewatch it, but I was like, you know what, I'm going to rewatch it this morning. So it's very fresh in my mind, so I have a lot of thoughts on it, as we can get into. And then a lot of BTS too, and it's just some fun behind the scenes and trivia stuff. Some goofs and some, set things that's super funny that I found. So where would you like to start, Quinn?
I have a big comparison I want to make. And I don't know if we
Okay.
want to get there yet.
Do it.
This movie very much feels like Mean Girls, which is weird because it's based off a book, which I think came out around the same time as Mean Girls, maybe a little bit before. Where it's this person who's in a new situation, who finds themselves taking advice from others and to try and fit in, only to become the very thing they hated to start, and having a kind of a comeback moment. I hate this term, but a come to Jesus moment at the end where they realize, oh, I need to stop, being this. Ooh, dear, I just threw my mic on the floor. Sorry about that. We're good. In Mean Girls, 2004, it was, I believe Katie is the lead actress. Yeah? I believe it was Katie, who joining high school and became very plastic by the end, became one of the mean girls, only to realize that, that ostracized her from a lot of her friends. Mm-hmm. And it's very similar to Devil Wears Prada, where Andy tries to fit in at her job, only to ostracize herself from her boyfriend and her other friends by becoming the glam and glitz that she criticized. So it's just a fun comparison that I found. And I think I realized why I liked... Because I keep talking about the beginning of The Devil Wears Prada. And I can using Mean Girl as a comparison, I can formulate why I don't really like the beginning of Prada compared to Mean Girls. Mm-hmm. And it's that right away in Mean Girls, you get introduced to likable characters.
Right.
You get introduced to her gay best friend, her gay friend, and the other friend, the one who was accused of being lesbian. I don't know if it was ever confirmed.
I don't remember. I haven't seen that movie in a while.
Yeah, but yeah, you get right away introduced to the gay friend and her other friend, which kind of helps some of that tension because you know you have people in Andy's corner. Out of everyone in the main cast, up until Nigel helps Andy the quarter of the way through the movie, there is no one in Andy's corner. Right, like her boyfriend and her friends are there, but they're very separated from the main plot of the movie. That just doesn't feel like anyone is there for her, which makes it really hard to get through that beginning. Because you're like her, you have that kind of knot in your stomach of when you're starting a new job and the expectations don't match what you know. And so you're afraid of failing. And it's like, it's that little knot in your stomach and it's there with you at the same time as it's there for Andy. So that's why I kind of had a hard time getting through the first quarter, is because unlike Mean Girls, there's no help to loosen that knot until that quarter mark when Nigel's there and Andy becomes more confident.
Yeah. No, I like the comparison about getting introduced to characters you like right away and then building them up in Mean Girls, whereas like this one is like you kind of have to stick it out and you have to like see where the character's going. And I don't know, I kind of liked though that we didn't really care about the character as much until further on in the film, and how she, as the audience, was growing in this kind of industry. You follow her as she learns more about this, and then I feel like the characters that you hate the most on screen are the best written because they're portrayed like that. They specifically are shown to be like, oh my gosh, you freaking idiot. What are you doing? And then like finally you have the character like Nigel or the emotional core of the movies to come in and like talk some sense into them, to slap them around and be like, get off your whiny butt and make this what you want it to be. And you know, it happens in a lot of the movies where they have characters like this. And so really good comparison. I love it. Love it.
This movie wouldn't have worked without the cast that did it.
Oh, I'm going to counter that. I think it would have. I think the cast elevated it, but I think the cast is like so stacked that they didn't need this stacked of a cast for a movie about fashion. Like, you get Meryl Streep, Anne Hathaway, Stanley Tucci,
freaking the Tooch, like
the Tooch Master,
like, I don't know. It's like, but here's the thing: every character is so complex with their emotions and everything that like you kind of need these actors to, you know, who are at the top of their game to do that. Like, imagine a high school grad playing Emily Charlton, or playing Nigel, or playing Miranda, or playing Andy. It wouldn't work.
Well, it's kind of funny that you mention it, because Emily Blunt's character, this was her acting debut. This was Emily Blunt's first movie.
Yeah, this was 2006. I forgot about that.
This is her first movie in her like more comedy kind of career of acting. But I think a lot of people forget this was her first appearance. And a lot of people are like, "Oh yeah, Emily Blunt's in that movie." But this is her first movie.
I mean, she's been in other movies before. She had an acting career for about 4 years before, 4 or 5 years before.
This is more of like the one that put her on the market, and this was really like her big movie. Like, if you're like any actor, you start off like small. You did some like roles, you did some small appearance, but like not a bigger lead like this. So this was really her standout one. But still, I think a lot of people forget that this was like one of her first like really big ones that really put her on the map, that people fall in love with her. So well done to Emily Blunt for pulling that off as a very complex character, and she pulled it off great.
I mean, yeah, I guess similar to Anne Hathaway, who also, again, did some acting in 2001, 2004, but this was kind of one of her early big roles.
One of her bigger roles, yeah, for sure.
She started off in Brokeback.
Well, you also had the Princess Diaries before that.
In Princess Diaries, yeah. But this is alongside those two as like her starting roles.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. All right, I'm gonna get into a lot of more of the deeper stuff
Yeah.
into the movies that I have seen, and just because, like I've explained, I've liked this movie for a while, and so I've rewatched it many times, and I have seen things that maybe others have missed. What did you think of the? Do you remember the blue sweater scene, the Krillin sweater? About talking about her sweater that she was wearing.
I do not. I was looking through the page, the wiki page, while I was getting a quick recap of the plot. Just because I always do it for the movies, even if I watch them, I still go through the wiki just to kind of refamiliarize myself with some scenes I may have forgotten. But I don't remember the cerulean sweater speech.
If you don't remember, it was a scene where Meryl Streep's character, Miranda, is going through and trying to pick out a belt for some sort of outfit, and Anne Hathaway, Andy, kind of laughs and chuckles, and they're like, "Why are you laughing?" And she's like, "Because they look the same." And then Miranda goes on a rant about how her sweater that she was wearing, this like light blue, how it has taken years and millions of dollars and millions of people choosing the color, going from top fashion models, going from an outfit of choosing the right color down the line all the way to the, I don't know what she says, a store that she picked out specifically, and how that originated in the runway, in the fashion area, and how everything she wears is because of what they do. And so it's more of it. It's the thesis of the film, really, because Andy is like, I'm not in this world and stuff. But in quote, I'm quoting Miranda here. I have it on my notes. Is You think you're outside the system, but you're not. You're choosing what's in the system, and so, it trickles down. The culture of the fashion trickles down, and why the fashion actually matters. And I love that scene because, to me, that was the thesis of the film. Is why this movie was important. This is why fashion is important. And I think a lot of people, I will be the first one to admit I'm not like super into fashion. I have terrible fashion sense. But this movie proves what fashion does to everybody, to all the guys who have girlfriends are out there. Like, she doesn't really care about the fashion, the accessories. It's important even to the guy. Like, it has taken probably millions of dollars, millions of people to get down to that Target store where you're picking out some jeans that look good. That good is because of those people working on that color, on that lining, the measuring. And so I would just wanted to bring that up because I think that's an often overlooked scene, and I think that's one of the most important scenes of the entire movie. And so I wanted to know if you remember that and what your thought was on that scene.
Yeah, no, I like to think about the pipeline a lot when we talk about things, but I haven't really even thought about the fashion pipeline. It's like, yeah, there has to be a reason why the cerulean blue sweater is the sweater, not a navy blue. Why was it cerulean blue? Well, it's because it's all the way back up there to the work they do at magazines like Runway, which also reminds me of another scene in the movie, before Nigel does Andy's makeup, is the scene where they talk about why Runway is important, and why what they do here is important. Talking about how, it seems like
Tucci's scene where he's like, this magazine ended up with a kid with a flashlight hiding underneath the bleachers.
Where it's like, this magazine isn't just for the city folk who want to be popular. It's also for the little kids in some rundown village who goes to sewing class instead of going to football practice or
soccer practice,
soccer practice or whatever, because they want to be designers, because they read Runway and they want to design the clothing for Runway. And it just kind of shows, like, a lot of fashion may be snobbish, may seem dumb, the choice of which belt to wear. It might seem dumb to someone, but if you really think about it, it's like, these are important decisions for culture, for the people who, actually, it's important for a lot of people. What colors chose and what, image you want on the front of the page.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. Two both great scenes that we just talked about. I did want, so if, like we've talked about before in some of our other movie reviews, if you know anything about me, I love the visual storytelling. And one thing that should get most people recognizing is her outfits tracking her state of mind, her morality throughout the film. You have her early outfits, the like layered, the coats, the stuff, you know, she's more authentic. And even Nate brings up like how he liked the older look because she really didn't care, but she wore like different layered things. She had a coat, a sweater, and a shirt and stuff. And so she was more guarded. She had layers in her mind and her life up at the start of the film. But then as we go forward after the makeup stuff, she gets into more sharp, more hat driven, more high fashion stuff, more single outfit kind of things. If you notice really quickly, sometimes she will have one coat or sometimes she will have zero things, and it's just the outfit with a accessory. In the beginning, she really doesn't have anything hanging off her. She's not really carrying anything. And then as you get into the middle, when she's becoming more like Miranda, she gets more accessory driven, more hat oriented, more sharp, as I like to say, and more like a darker or lighter feel. It doesn't really matter the colors, but it's more a matter of like how the outfit is looking on her, describing her morality.
And that culminates in the Paris trip, where her final outfit in the movie before she goes back to the very jagged look is a very simple single black dress.
Single
with,
black dress.
I think with maybe some gloves, but even that might just be a misremembering the outfit. But it's just a very simple single black dress with some bracelets and some necklace. And a necklace or something.
Yeah. And
she's
then
completely open.
And then at the very end, like you said, she's back to her original, simpler again, but it's not so much layered as like the first one. So if you remember, there was a couple outfits in the first one I'm remembering this morning. Is she, like I said, she had like a trench coat, a scarf, a shirt, a sweater. Like she had a whole bunch of these layers. So she was crazy. And then she goes down to the one outfit, dress, maybe a coat, a purse or whatever. In the very end, she's wearing just a coat, but it's more what she's feeling, the more authentic of her outfits. But it's still a simpler, like she's learned, she's grown, she's taken what she's learned.
Yeah, it's clear she's taken Miranda's and Nigel's speeches to heart about the importance of fashion and about runway. And so it's like, no, she's not wearing designer, but she's also taking that lesson of like confidence and importance to heart.
Yeah.
And so it's a good middle ground between the lessons and what she wants.
So, okay, now after talking about that, I want to get into a little BTS about the film, and the inspiration for Miranda Priestley is based off of a real person. So, Quinn, do you know who this real person is? Did you find any?
Do you mean her hairdo?
No, the real person that this is based off, her character is based off of.
No.
Okay, this will be good news for you. The person that Miranda Priestley is based it off, and Meryl Streep.
Words.
Whoa. Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep.
Streep.
It's two
I
E's.
think I said it right. Right.
Meryl Streep
Was based off Anna Wintour, the editor of Vogue magazine at the time. And I have my notes here. Where are they? There they are. Was not invited to the premiere. She did, however, attend an advanced screening for the press along with her daughter, dressed head to toe in Prada. Wintour's daughter could be heard nudging her throughout the screening, saying, "Hey, they got that right." And that was almost exactly word for word. Although never commenting on public, she was reported that she did like the film and said that it was entertaining. And the only involvement of Vogue was a production designer, Jesse Gonkar, who somehow was able to sneak into the Vogue offices and get a look at Anna Wintour's office to be able to recreate her office. And it was so authentic that it said that Anna, the next day after seeing it, redecorated her entire office immediately, got new furniture, changed everything because of how close it was. So, Jess Gonhor, or whatever, I'm so sorry if I pronounced your last name wrong, you did amazing. I don't know how you were able to get one look and you were like, I know exactly what to do. But it was so good that even Anna had to admit that it was so good that they had to change everything. So well done, my friend. That was impressive. There's always some goofs in a movie every now and then, and if you don't catch it, it's fine. Do you know some? Or are you just commenting that there are goofs in movies?
No, I'm just commenting that there always are goofs.
There's always goofs in the movie, and some of my favorite is that when Andy is handing out gifts, when she meets up with her friends and she hands out gifts, a purse and some other stuff with her friends, she gets a phone call and they like mess with her and like keep away with the phone. When she finally gets it to answer it, it's upside down. If you look really closely, you can see the dial like screen is upside down when she's answering it. But if you're not looking at it, it's really funny, and it's like, hello, and it's like, I see it, but still, I saw that and I was like, what? And I like reversed it and I looked at it. I was like, oh,
I have to look back into that because that seems like a fun little goof I'd like.
And then you just have like some other like small little things, whereas like in the scene with Nate when he's asking her where she's been and he like made her a sandwich, there's a towel on his shoulder and then it disappears in the next scene, but then it comes back in like another angle. That's in most movies. Like, yeah. Still, you should be better on a what was it, $20 million budget?
30 to 40.
30 to 40 million. But another thing that is also really fun to say is that the designs and the production, the costume designs and production, all that, but mainly the designs, costed around $1 million for all of the costumes, the designs, and everything that they wore.
They were all designers?
Legit. They had Prada, they had Chic, they had Valiento designs, they had Chanel's, like they had legit designer stuff.
Yeah.
So they weren't lying about all of the designers' things in the movie.
Yeah, that adds up. Yeah. I didn't expect them to pull real designers because I know we just got over the importance of fashion and of clothing, but God, designers don't mean anything in the grand scheme of things. You're purchasing a name. You could literally copy designers one for one and pay like a thousandth the price. Like, you know.
Yep. No, it was crazy. And when I actually read that, and it was $1 million for like all of the stuff to wear to use in production stuff, and I was like, holy crap. The costume designer did get an Oscar nomination from this movie, and so she did get the recognition she deserved. She didn't win, but she did get a nomination. Nice. Which is really cool. All the costumes afterwards were sold off at an auction for research for breast cancer. Anne Hathaway bought the green dress that her character wears in the movie, and Meryl Streep kept her sunglasses that she wears in the movie.
Heck yeah.
And then used them again in the Money scene in Mamma Mia, which came just right after this. Mamma Mia was her next movie. So, all went to good causes. So, didn't go to waste. So, I did just want to ask you one last question about the movie before we give a final rating and stuff. Mm-hmm. Did you think Andy actually betrayed her values in the movie? Or did she grow?
How do you mean?
So, was Miranda right in the very end when she said, "You're becoming more like me," and giving up all of her original who she was before. Like Lily was saying in the gallery, how she knew Andy for 16 years, and this wasn't Andy. In the end, do you think Andy actually betrayed her values, or did she just grow up?
That's a very good question. See, I'm going to bring it back to Mean Girls. Cause
Do it. No, take it. Take us where you want to go.
The main character in Mean Girls definitely became plastic and definitely portrayed who they were, who their friends, everything. This wasn't that. Like, did Andy change? Absolutely, she did. That's without a question. But I also think that it comes more with the job because, I mean, she keeps saying she didn't have to, but in actuality, it's like, it's a grueling, tough job. Like, how do you think Miranda would have taken it if Andy said, no, I don't want to go to Paris, and then Emily got hit by the car, so now Miranda doesn't have someone to go to Paris with? Or Emily couldn't go to Paris anyway, so, like, who was Miranda going to go with if not Andy? It's like, I think it's one of those things where Andy was in an incredibly tough job, and she tried to fit in, and she grew as a person. Did she perhaps take it too far? Absolutely. I think there might have been some times where she took it too far, especially when she was talking to like her boyfriend and stuff. But I think overall, it's less what we see in Mean Girls and more just kind of natural growth and natural, absorbing the information, absorbing what you get from your job. And like I said, it's a tough, demanding job. Miranda's a tough, demanding person. So when Andy says she didn't have to, she's kind of right. Or she didn't have a choice, she's kind of right. Miranda probably wouldn't have taken kindly to Andy ignoring her or Andy, like, turning down these opportunities.
Right.
Yeah.
No,
That's just my take on it.
That's very good. I think, yeah. And The Devil Wears Prada really isn't about fashion. It's more about how far you're willing to go before you don't recognize yourself anymore. It's about going too far. It's like, where is the line? It's about finding the line and finding it before you step over it, before you go any further. But taking what you learn and growing.
Yeah. I think that's what. Yeah. And I think Andy was doing that during the film, was taking what she was learning and growing from it, and yeah, was she different? Absolutely, but she wasn't different in a bad way.
No.
Had she started, crap talking her friends, oh look at those shoes or whatever, then yeah, maybe she had taken it too far. But if I recall, she never really talked poorly on her friends. She just talked about how nice she was dressing.
Yep.
Wearing designer, which is very different. It's one thing to be like, oh, I'm actually kind of taking care of myself. I'm actually kind of dressing nice, and looking at your friends and being like, what's that poor person stuff you have on? God, you never catch me dead wearing that. Like Mean Girls, exactly. Yeah.
No, that was very good. Very good. We're gonna just close it off here, and we're gonna just give some final thoughts and review it. Quinn, give me your final thoughts and rate it out of 5, or actually out of 10. Do it out of 10. We're doing it out of 10.
Out of 10. It's a good movie. I see why it's well loved, and I see why a sequel is being made. The acting was phenomenal. The characters were so dynamic and so interesting. Yeah. Overall, I think I give it. I think it's solid 8. Solid 8.
Nice. That's good. I mean, yeah, you've heard my take on this movie. Probably a lot more than you guys were hoping then. But I do love this movie, and I love the cast. The cast is really what bought it for me. Some people say that the cast was too much for this movie, but I think the cast was just perfect, and they nailed the characters super much. And I mean, we'd even get into like the way Meryl Streep changed her character from being a loud and aggressive voice to being the more quiet, to be the like show way more power when she's just whispering. When she was quiet, that was all Meryl Streep. coming in, she changed that on the character. With Stanley Tucci changing everything about Nigel and how he had some thoughts and basically wrote his character and wrote the dialogue for his character in the movie. And the producers and directors were all like, "Oh, shoot, you have thoughts. Yeah, actually do that. You know more than us, Tooch. You do the thing." And I remember reading something about David Frankel, the director, saying that Stanley Tucci knew the character even better than he did. And so he said, "You take it where you want to go, buddy." And so, again, the cast was one of the main things of why this movie did great. And so I'm really excited to see them all come back. And we shall see what they do with this new character. I'm gonna give it an 8 as well. I love this movie. Like I've said before, it's a classic, and it will always hold a special place in my heart, being as one of the few movies I remember seeing early on in my nerd movie career of going down this rabbit hole. So that was our review on The Devil Wears Prada. If you had anything left to say, did you have one?
Yeah, this is completely off topic, but I was looking through Stanley Tucci and Emily Blunt. They are related.
Yes,
not
are.
By blood, but
no, he married Emily Blunt's sister.
Yes, yeah. So they are actually family at this point.
No, and yeah. I think they're still married. They're still married.
No, they're still. Yeah, she's Stanley's current wife.
Yeah, which is always a good thing to see especially for actors, which is really sad to see when they have so many relationships and marriages and stuff. And so when you see one that's like been together since they got married,
2012,
it's very good to see and very happy. Yeah. You always want the best for these people. They're real people.
Oh, they're people. They have emotions.
They have emotions. They have struggles. They go through everything we do. They just are put up on a pedestal and expected to do more, which is really sad.
I mean, look, just I watched a speech the other day. Look at the speech from Ted Lasso. Oh gosh, I had it.
Keep going. You got it.
Roy's speech at the press conference, where he's talking about how these are soccer players that have lives.
Oh yeah.
Get annoyed.
That speech. Oh, I love that speech.
Right.
That's a good speech.
It's the same thing. We see just what these people, the characters these people portray, but like they're still people.
They're still people.
They still have lives and families and hopes and wants and dreams, and it's important to think about that.
Yeah. Sweet. That was a good review. I think that was probably one of our best reviews ever of a movie.
Yeah. There's a lot to talk about with this.
There was a lot of talk about.
There's so much to talk about this movie.
Yeah, I loved it, and I'm so glad that you liked it. when you gave me your first reactions, and you were like, "It was okay," and I was like, "Shoot!" All right, it's gonna be maybe just me talking on the review.
No, but like I said, as I started to think more about it, the more I was like, this is actually a good movie. I was kind of being not wanting you to have a reason to say "I told you so," because I know you're gonna say "I told you so."
I told you so. All right, that's the last time I'll say that. Let's get into what are we watching, reading, playing.
Yeah.
Quinn, what are you watching, reading, playing?
I have finished up Mouse PI for Hire, which I believe I talked about last week.
You did. I remember we talked about it. Very interesting.
Finished that up. It gave me the noir tingle I've been feeling to keep me over for Spider Noir.
Before Spider Noir.
And yeah, since then I've just kind of been playing some RPGs.
Fun.
Dragon Quest, a classic Japanese RPG. Playing through that. And other than that, I'm gonna hopefully, maybe, possibly try and watch through some series that I have left off that I need to finish. Like
Punisher. Daredevil. Jessica Jones.
I don't know. I was thinking more Percy Jackson.
Oh yeah.
Mando.
Oh yeah, you haven't finished that series.
I saw the last episode of that. I still need to finish Mando. There's a couple series I need to watch that I'll maybe get into, but they're all on Disney, and I hate Disney.
I will say, if you need a little more noir tickle, Jessica Jones is that modern noir, and it is superhero. It's New York related. Has it's that same vibe of the Daredevil, but it's a noir detective show.
Yeah.
So,
I'll think about it.
Just saying, the first season is intense. It's really fun. I love that show. The third season is the best of the show, so I will leave that there with you. Yeah,
How
well, that
about
sounds
yourself?
exciting. Well, like I said last week, I've kind of been on a Harry Potter binge for some reason. I was
Yeah.
really got into the Harry Potter wizard world, and so I'm on my final 2 movies, The Deathly Hallows. Have to watch those later. So I finished The Half-Blood Prince the other day. Still one of my favorites out of the series, just because it's like one of the last movies of like them actually in school and like figuring stuff out. And I don't know, I like it.
It's before the whole like Death Eaters take over type
Yep.
plot.
Yeah, before they're like on the run and stuff, which I do love. And I'll get into that more after I watch the Deathly Hallows, because I still think the first part of the Deathly Hallows is one of my favorite parts in the entire Harry Potter universe. And I will be explaining that a little bit more next week. Just because I was just like watched a clip and I was like, oh yes, I can't wait to watch that movie again. Anyway, so yes, been on a Harry Potter binge. Finished One Piece season 2.
Yay! How is it?
Oh, it was so much fun. I love
So
that
fun.
movie. I love the
That show.
characters. Vivi is my new favorite character.
I hope she stays. Spoiler for the comics.
Let's keep going.
She becomes a friend of the Straw Hats, but she doesn't stay on the ship. But I hope they change that for the show, because I want her to stay.
I don't
on the
think
crew.
anybody would be mad if they changed that, because
No.
from what I've read online is that like people are loving her. And while she did receive a little backlash for like the casting and stuff,
for the
that
race
was-
changes, but that's
that was
whatever.
quickly diminished when the actual creator of the One Piece came out and said, "Oh, I picked her," and everybody's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, Oda was
Never
in
mind.
charge of.
We'll just
ev-
take it."
Yeah, Oda's in charge of every single casting. So when
No,
they
he is.
made Brooks black as well, there's some outcry, and then a lot of people are like, okay, he has an afro, is called the Soul King, sings and plays a violin.
Mm-hmm.
He, even though he's light skinned in the comics, he's black. He's
He's
a
black.
black guy.
He's
Just,
black.
it's hard to draw light skinned or dark skinned people in a manga style.
I remember reading that. Yeah. So that was quickly diminished, and I'm so glad because the actor played her perfectly.
Yeah.
She was great, and I would love to see more of her in the show. So, yes, One Piece, great show. Can't wait for the next season. Again, love. Netflix does some things right. When they do
Yes.
it, they do it right. But they do some things wrong, and so we shall see. But that's about it for me. I
Perfect.
haven't been really doing a lot. Been kind of busy trying to do my next steps and stuff, next path. Working on my next recap, the DL de Nino recap at our church happened on Sunday, and I got a super cool, camera equipment for that show. That sorry,
that
dropped
celebration.
that celebration, and so I got to test out my new toy. I think I have it here somewhere. I just want to brag a little, just because I got this really cool thing. I got this new
We are
giant
reaching
gimbal.
around 2:30 or 2 hours 30. Just to let you know.
I saw that.
Okay.
So this
Big old thing.
this holds the camera, and then, it's a gimbal. It's super cool. if you know anything, this is a Ronin RS5, not a Pro, and with the intelligent tracker, with the screen on the front. So, for all your camera nerds out there, that's what I'm rocking with right now. If you wanted to know.
If you're curious.
If
at all.
you were curious, I guess maybe you were, maybe you weren't. Oh well, I get to dictate what goes on the show. Well, I guess I don't. The editor does, but I get to dictate what we record. There we go. All right, I think that was it for
Yeah.
what we're watching. So I think it's time to end it. Quinn, you got anything left to say?
No, that's it for me.
Perfect. Well, that is it for me. This has been part of my Geek podcast. We're gonna do some fun things next week. Hopefully, we'll decide.
Okay.
Me and Quinn will decide what we do. So be on the lookout. You can follow us more at our Instagram at Part of My Geek. You can find me and Quinn there. That's where you can find instant reactions, fun clips, maybe some other fun stuff if we're doing things. Maybe later this summer we'll do some other just fun things for socials and stuff. But we're doing pretty good. We're getting like around 400 views per reel, so
Ooh, not bad.
not bad for like a podcast just getting started and stuff.
Right. I
So
was expecting it to be like 2.
no, yeah, we're getting a couple hundred. Only getting like 10 or 15 likes, but still a couple hundred views. People are watching.
People are
and stuff.
seeing us. People
People are seeing. And we're also on Facebook and stuff. So follow us there. That is where you can find us. Quinn, you have anything left to say to the audience?
I'm all good. We're ready to head out.
We're ready to head out and go have lunch. So, this has been Part of My Geek podcast. We regret nothing because, again, it was all true and geek related. That's our new tagline. I'm trying to make it. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
we're sending it out. Bye.
Bye.